I'm live. Good afternoon, Zimbabwe. Welcome to Zimbabwe Daily. So, yes, the issue that has been going around is the High Court judgment vis-a-vis the Supreme Court by the CCC. So, we wanted to find out what exactly happened in the court today, and we caught up with Honorable Ostalo Sisiwa to just clarify on what's happening, and would want to hear what he had to say.
Thank you very much. The decision by the High Court to grant ZANU-PF impositor to try and remove our candidates from the ballot was granted this morning by the High Court. But the same High Court also granted us an interdict against Sengezo from recalling any member of parliament or councillor. It means that Sengezo has been barred in the interim from stopping or recalling any of our members of parliament or councillors. The decision to attempt to remove our MPs and councillors is now moot in an academic exercise. We are on the ground. Our ballot papers have arrived in all the polling stations in Pelanda, Bachabalala, and different parts of the country. People are geared to go and vote. So the decision is moot. It's an academic exercise. It has been overtaken by events, and therefore it is not going to take effect. More importantly, is also because we've also appealed against the decision at the Supreme Court of this country. Thank you.
All right, so that was the response of Ostalos, because the High Court of Zimbabwe did put out their order, and I shall read it briefly so that we get to hear the contents of the High Court order done at Harare, Thursday, the 7th of December, 2023, before Honorable Katio J, Advocate L. Uriri for the first and second respondent, Mr. A. Mshadehama for the first to 22nd respondent, Mr. T. M. Kanengoni for the 23rd respondent, and Mr. A. Gumbo for the 25th respondent. And for the benefit of those who are not aware, 21 members. We have the 22 members from the Citizens Coalition for Change who have since written to. All right, so the first applicant, Citizens Coalition for Change, and the second applicant is Sengezo Chabangu. So this is the CCC under Sengezo Chabangu. And respondents, Prince Dweko Sibanda, Bright Moyo, Yeliswe Nkomo, Jasmine Tofa, Stable Mlilo, Pasha Rafo Sibanda, Nicola Jane Watson, Eric Gono, Evidence Sunungurai Zana, Morgan Nwewe, Obed Manduna, Janet Due, Desmond Makaza, Gideon Shoko, Tendai Sibanda, Anastasia Moyo, Joel Gabuza, David Chimini, Sipiwe Nwe, Felix Sibanda, Helen Zivira, Matvenga Madzikana, and the 23rd respondent is the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission. The 24th respondent is the Minister of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs, and the 25th respondent is the Citizens Coalition for Change. All right. So the 25th respondent, the Citizens Coalition for Change, is represented by Mr. Gumbo. The Ministry of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs, that's our the 23rd respondent, that's the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission, is represented by Mr. T. M. Kanengoni. And the first to 22nd respondent are represented by Mr. Mshadehama, whilst Advocate Uriri is representing Sengezo Chabangu and the Citizens Coalition. So the ruling or the order reads, whereupon, after reading documents filed of record and hearing Council, it is ordered that number one, the decision of the nomination court sitting at Harare, Bulawayo, Gwanda, Lupane, and or any other location around the country on 7 November 2023 to accept the nomination papers and the candidature of first to 22nd respondents for election in the by-election set to be conducted on 9 December 2023 is unlawful, of no force and effect, and hereby set aside. Number two, that first to 22nd respondent are not candidates for elections in the by-elections scheduled to be conducted on 9 December 2023. Number three, that 23rd and 24th respondents shall not include the names of first to 22nd respondents in the preparation of ballot papers to be used in the by-elections scheduled to be conducted on the 9th of December 2023. That's 2 days away. Number four, that the first to 22nd respondents are interdicted from representing or holding themselves out to the general public and electorate in the constituencies concerned or any other place in Zimbabwe, whether physically or through any form of media, as candidates for election and by-election scheduled to be held on 9 December 2023. And first to 22nd and 25th respondents shall jointly and severally pay the applicant's cost on the ordinary scale signed by the judge. So it is order number four that even for me who doesn't know law at all finds absurd. How does how do we get to a point where a candidate is interdicted from representing or holding themselves out to the general public and electorate in the constituencies concerned or any other place in Zimbabwe, whether physically or through any form of media, as candidates for elections in by-elections scheduled to be held on 9 December 2023. This has been done by a whole judge. I'm not exactly sure if that is constitutional at all, but this is what came out of the High Court. But in the meantime, the Triple C, led by Advocate Nelson Chemisa, had made an application with the Supreme Court to stop Shabangu from further recalling any of the Triple C members. So Ostalos then went on to address that, and their application interdicting Chabangu from recalling any Triple C member of parliament and councillors or purporting to represent Triple C was granted by Justice Chitapi. So we continue to observe what's coming out of the courts to really understand the next step as they are taking. For those of you who just joined us, we asked Ostalos to just tell us what exactly happened in the courts today, because both cases were in the courts, the High Court and the Supreme Court. So for the benefit of those who just joined us, I'm going to play again the audio that Ostalos sent us, and we'll end this stream. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have yourselves a wonderful rest of the day.
Thank you very much. The decision by the High Court to grant ZANU-PF impositor to try and remove candidates from the ballot was granted this morning by the High Court. But the same High Court also granted us an interdict against any member of parliament or council. It means that Sengezo has been barred in the interim from stopping or recalling any of our members of parliament or councillors. The decision to attempt to remove our MPs and councillors is now moot in an academic exercise. We are on the ground. Our ballot papers have arrived in all the polling stations in different parts of the country. People are geared to go and vote. So the decision is moot. It's an academic exercise. It has been overtaken by events, and therefore it is not going to take effect. More importantly, is also because we've also appealed against the decision at the Supreme Court of this country. Thank you.